All right, here we go with the next stage. We are just cresting a mountain here. Sorry, I'm having a little trouble thinking my image through. So this was one of those moves where somebody kind of irritated, but you know it is racing, so. But Berhani just nipped maximum points on a Cat 1 climb, which is going to annoy the other two guys that I'll be drawing here, just the painting drawing in just a second. Since he's not really has a lot of points in the King of the Mountain jersey, probably ticked off. In fact, it appears these two are having words, starting now on Tim Wellens, who is the current leader in the King of the Mountains competition. So the King of the Mountains, the prize is a polka dot jersey, and just laying those polka dots in right now. Tim Wellens rides for Lotto Sedal. Berhani rides for one of the continental teams. And then I'm going to forget the Trek rider's name, but he's also been pushing to amass points in this competition. He's pretty far behind. Well, everyone's pretty far behind. Wellens is point total, but there's a lot of mountain climbing to go. In fact, today is the first Cat 1 climb. Sorry, just trying to think and paint at the same time. Sometimes that leaves the ability to speak behind, you know? And since painting is the most important part of this equation, it gets first precedent. So when I go blank, that's what's happening. So I do wonder what exactly is being said between these three riders. And then in the background, the rest, this is a large breakaway group. And those not trying to collect points have just sort of dropped off in the back. So this is, I can't see my notes, so I can't tell you the climb name. We'll just call this words. All right, so that's the line work. So you notice how we're trying to get a nice diagonal in here, get things set up so we can get in the interchange, the play of the riders looking at each other. Sorry, my table's a little wobbly. So again, starting with the warm colors first, then working into the flesh tones. Of each of the riders. Now, one of the things I always have to remind myself, because generally speaking, the peloton is a bunch of Northern Europeans, and you can read between the lines. So the peloton is usually dominantly white, except for Berhani, and as I said, he's African, he's from Eritrea. He is one of the few people of color in professional cycling at this point. He was the first African rider to ever wear a leader's jersey in the Tour.
Yes, to do that.
So,
What is it, young lady?
so again, looking across, the Trek rider going, what was that about? Who took that? Polka dots on the banner above. And it's actually a lot of red in this image. And that's one of the things that's, you have to build your painting with an intention towards complementary colors. Think about all the how we build those things up, how the color works, but also to some degree, like particularly with the various riders, I have to be sympathetic to the actual colors because I am trying to say something for real that's actually happening. So now in this case it'll work out nicely because I will be building a complementary color scheme by virtue of the trees in the background. And the obvious there is that complement to red is green. So easy peasy, right? Cats are a little worked up again today. And a conversation going on in the kitchen. We all don't live in a vacuum. So, it is what it is.
You're anti-verbal things.
All right, so now I do want to bounce back and get a little orange here. I'm surprised there has been a change in the support. This has always been Care 4. Care 4 is... All right, we're having a heated discussion in the kitchen. So it goes. So anyway, as I was saying about the complementary colors, so now as I start laying these greens in, those reds will pop that much more. And it is what it is. Hey folks, Bridget and Austin. So laying some color in. Bridget and Austin are my wife and my son. So now laying in the greens and getting these progressively darker greens. So as they come up over the hill, you have the forest in the background. So that's what's going to give that complementary color. So with complementary colors, your eye has a natural inclination to look for the complement, so that if you're in a green forest and you see the bright red cardinal, it's just that much easier to see it. So that's what your eye is doing. It's trying to find that complementary color. So now the reds are much brighter, as you can see, as we lay the greens in. And of course the other factor is the value. Now one of the things about value, though, is the most common color blindness is a red-green color blindness, and that's because red and green tend to be the same value. The yellow-purple is very uncommon because there's a lot of ability to distinguish those two colors by virtue of the value of the colors. Yellow being much lighter than purple in a black and white photograph. So getting a little more of the detail work of the logos. So now again, building that black color that I build. That was way too much green. Pick up some more red and don't mix. So you can see I'm slightly off to the side, just getting the red into some of the, red into some of the green. I really am curious what these guys had to say to each other. I'm sure it wasn't sweet. That is on Twitter, and my Twitter handle is Art of Cycling. I was trying to find out the other day when Sagan and Cobrelli had conversation, and Cobrelli actually liked the remark in the painting. So I was hoping he'd actually tell me what was being said. He hasn't. He does have other fish to fry right now. He is in the middle of the Tour de France, after all. So that's today's painting. Words. Nice little framing. Oh, actually, I'm going to do just a little bit of the Eritrean flag here on his chest, because Berhane is the champion of Eritrea. There we go. All right, there we go. So, didn't do the whole please give me likes, thumbs up. In addition, the website is gregleach.com, and the blog where all of these paintings, including these here, are visible is theartofcycling.blogspot.com. And I see that you can't see the painting now. So there it is. So that'll be an interesting video.